other than going to the uniqueness of an individual, what type of aerobic, zone 1, zone 2, zone 5, how do you mix it up for specifically someone who says, listen, I want my brain to function at the highest level?
Yeah, so I'll always look at the absolute basics first. Like, are they releasing too much dopamine? Because the majority of people are now, which dopamine, over release will make you stupid. Let's face it. So a lot of people are picking up their device, they're attached to their computers, then they relax by watching TV. It's just overstimulation, even light, conversation. That's why I believe doing certain things like a 10-day Vipassana is very, very helpful, where you have this digital detox and dopamine detox to rebalance yourself. That, like, I just got back over the weekend. I went and stayed in a yurt in the mountains. There was no connection. I just read my book, took my dog for a walk, and enjoyed nature and the sounds, the sights, the smells, readapting to my proper senses as opposed to overloading. So that's the first thing that I look at. As we know, sleep has become a byproduct of people's lives now. It's not a priority. So I'll always focus on sleep because that's the body's way or the brain's way of detoxifying itself. And there's no way that all the nootropics that you can take in the world is not going to help if you haven't detoxed your brain through sleep first. So that's another thing that I'll look at. So it's a lot of these lifestyle factors as opposed to, okay, we're going to quantify this, we're going to test this. We'll do that if we can't eradicate the issue from the primary sources first. And, like we know the food supply is very, very different. And this is how I came across it myself. I was diagnosed with mold toxicity. So, of course, I wasn't sleeping. I had brain fog, blah, blah, blah. That's what took me down a quote unquote biohacking protocol. This is going back in 2014. And as soon as I eradicated a lot of the foods that are conventional healthy foods, because I was bodybuilding back then, and swapping the food that had antibiotics, pesticides, herbicides, glyphosate, high omega-6s and a factory farm fish, blah, 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 and swapped it for grass-fed, humane raised, wild caught, organic. All of a sudden, not only did my inflammation decrease in my joints, in my tendons that I thought was just from weight training, but my mental clarity came back. So, of course, when we feed our bodies, well, of course, we're feeding our brains at the same time. But a lot of people don't have that correlation. They will look at food and think, okay, maybe this will help me get abs. Maybe it'll help take the stress off my liver, blah, blah, blah. But they don't understand the stress that it can potentially lead to the brain. Because if you constantly have an inflammatory response in your gut, that could cause gut dysbiosis, leaky guts, blah, blah, blah. Then you can obviously get leaky brain or lead to a chemical imbalance in the brain. And that could lead to that brain fog too.